Good afternoon. We'll now start. First of all, I'd like to welcome everybody to this pep talk this afternoon. Please mute yourself, but always show your video picture. Sign in your name, your Facebook account, or email address in the chat box. Please include the names of companions attending with you. Use the chat box to ask questions and make comments while the pep talk is on. There will be group pictures at the start and end of the pep talk, so please show your faces in the video. A reminder, after the pep talk, please take the online learning evaluation test exercise for mastery of learning and have a perfect score to get a certificate like this, the one shown here. I have placed the link in the chat box. Obtaining 25 OLETE certificates after getting a perfect score on the OLETE will entitle one mentee to a voucher for a RO Hoson medical consultation, either face-to-face or telemedical, the free consultation. Another request, please type in your feedback in the chat box during the open forum and before we adjourn. Thank you. Let's now have a group picture taking before we start the pep talk proper in 2 minutes. Next. Okay, ready? Get set. 1, 2, 3. I have a patient empowerment program in which I like to empower the lay people or patients to take control in the management of their health. I started the pep talk on May 15, 2021 during the COVID-19 pandemic. There are 3 courses in the pep talk. I completed the core course on October 9, 2021. And then from October 23, 2021 onwards, I've been tackling health disorder and health issue courses. May 18 this year, 2024, marks the start of year 4 of the RO Hoson Pep Talk. How long the pep talk will last will depend on our enthusiasm, discipline, and perseverance. My pep talk today is entitled Breast Physical Exam and Ultrasound Diagnosis, Reconciling Differences. The empowerment objective is for the lay people to have an essential understanding on this topic, breast physical exam and ultrasound diagnosis. Reconciling the differences is to note that there will be differences between the physical exam diagnosis and the ultrasound diagnosis, and how do we reconcile that as part of our health management. My pep talk today will include the following. What is a diagnosis? What is a medical diagnosis? What is a breast physical exam diagnosis? What is a breast ultrasound diagnosis? Do breast self-exam, breast physical exam, and ultrasound diagnosis always tally or jive with each other? What are examples of differences of breast physical exam and ultrasound diagnosis? And what to do if the breast physical exam and ultrasound diagnosis do not tally, do not jive, are not the same, or have differences or discrepancies. So what to do? My pep talk today my pep talk will contain it's a disclaimer. It will contain my thoughts, perceptions, opinions, and recommendations, or TPORs, culled from personal experience as well as from the writings of other health professionals, which I try to read as much as possible. Let's start with the first topic. What is a diagnosis? What is a medical diagnosis? Diagnosis used as an action verb, meaning such as to diagnose or to make a diagnosis, means investigation or analysis of a cause or nature of a condition, situation, or problem, such as a diagnosis of an engine trouble or diagnosis of a health concern. So diagnosis can be used non-medically as well as medically. But diagnosis as a noun means a statement or conclusion from the prior investigations and analysis. So, eto, you do the first step, action verb to diagnose. Okay. Then after that, you come out with conclusion. What is the diagnosis? So medical diagnosis is simply diagnosis of a patient's medical concern. What is a breast physical exam diagnosis? Diagnosis after a physical examination of the breast. This is essentially the simplest definition of that breast physical exam diagnosis. There are two components or steps in arriving to a breast physical exam diagnosis. Number one is the so-called process. Okay, so you do the physical examination of the breast. Usually, what are being done are inspection and palpation by a physician. So when you say physical examination of the breast, it implies that it's the doctor doing it, okay, or a health professional. In contrast to when you say breast self-examination, it can be done by a person herself. Even though if she is a doctor, a doctora, a female doctor, who is doing examination of the breast, we still call it breast self-examination, even though she is a doctor. Okay? So what is meant when we say physical examination of the breast, this is usually done by another person, by a physician or a health professional. So the first step is to palpate and to inspect the breast, okay, as part of the basic procedure in physical examination. And then after that, after getting all the data, the findings on inspection and palpation, okay, the data are processed to come out with a conclusion or concluding statement, which is the diagnosis. So diagnose first, then diagnosis, okay, using physical examination methods, and then come out with a diagnosis of whether there is a problem in the breast or not. So the first component of a physical examination with the breast is that you inspect and palpate for any abnormality of the breast. And then if one is seen, pag may nakita, describe the characteristics. Usually, first the size, the location, the consistency, the nature, whether it's solid or cystic, the border or the edge of the mass, mobility, whether it's fixed or not fixed, it's movable, tenderness of the mass, kung masakit, then lymph nodes, etc. Okay. So the second component is to process the findings on inspection and palpation and to come out the concluding statement. Number one, possible conclusions will be normal ito yung breast niya or abnormal, something unusual. So if abnormal, stating the name of the disease or disorder. So when we talk about physical examination of the breast, it's usually done by a doctor. The doctor should be able to name the disease, okay, after saying it's abnormal. No? But for lay people who is doing breast self-examination, pwedeng sabihin, ay, there's something abnormal, it's normal, something abnormal, pero mahirapan sila mag-state ng pangalan ng sakit unless they are empowered through health education. Okay. So the doctor, abnormal, he or she named the disease, and usually they start with the general terms, or at times they can go to more specific terms, especially those who are subs or specialists in breast. For the GPs, probably they can just use the general terms. So example of general terms will be cancer, infection, not cancer, Examples of specific diagnoses will be fibroadenoma, abscess, Paget's disease, TB of the breast, etc., etc. Okay, so general and specific. So, going to the breast ultrasound diagnosis naman, kanina we talk about breast physical exam diagnosis, ngayon ultrasound naman. So again, there are two components or steps in the breast ultrasound diagnosis. Number one, the first step is examining the breast using the ultrasound machine, usually by the ultrasonographer, yung nagmamanipulate ng machine. And then after that, processing the findings on ultrasound to come out with a concluding statement. So, as I said, the first step is examine the breast using the ultrasound machine. And then if one is seen, if there's some abnormality seen, kung may nakita ng unusual abnormality, then the ultrasonographer will describe the characteristics, whether in terms of size, whether it's solid versus cystic, borders, and others. Then the second step that the ultrasonographer will do will be to make a concluding statement. Okay? So, ito yung mga examples. Sasabihin niya, normal lang breast, o pwede sabihin niya, benign siya, or malignant. Okay? And nowadays, this one is commonly used in all the reports of the ultrasound. BI-RADS. BI-RADS stands for Breast Imaging Reporting and Data System. So this is popular all over the world. No? They're trying to standardize the reporting of the ultrasonographer. No? So this BI-RADS contains at least 6 categories, 0 to 6. Okay. As I said, this is currently widely used in breast ultrasound diagnosis. So yung BI-RADS 1 to 6, ganun yon. BI-RADS 0 means it needs additional tests. Yan ang interpretation nila. Yan ang meaning ng BI-RADS 0. BI-RADS 1, negative findings, walang nakita, walang abnormality. Then BI-RADS 2, okay, there is a finding pero benign siya. Okay, quite certain yung doktor na benign siya. BI-RADS 3, probably benign. Okay. So may mga subjectivity, may konting may mga probability of benign. Hindi siya siguradong 100% benign. Then BI-RADS 4, okay, the ultrasonographer finds something, make him suspect that there is some abnormality. Okay. When you talk about suspicious for abnormality, usually they refer to a possible cancer. Okay. Now, BI-RADS 4, under 4 may mga ABC pa yan in different categories. Okay. 4A will be mildly suspicious. Then 4B is moderately suspicious. And then 4C is very mataas ang suspicion yon. Okay. Then BI-RADS 5, highly suggestive of cancer. Okay. Highly suggestive of cancer. And then, for BI-RADS 6, nilagay nila yung BI-RADS 6, pag may biopsy na yung pasyente sa breast at turn out to be cancer, and then they make an ultrasound. So, i-input nila yung diagnosis ng biopsy, and then they will just categorize it as BI-RADS 6 kasi may biopsy na. No? So, 1, 0, 2, 6. Do breast physical exam and ultrasound diagnosis always tally with each other? Okay. This is a pertinent question that everybody will ask, especially the lay people. Okay. So the answer here is it's no, not always. No, not always. Reasons? There may be findings seen on physical examination and not seen on ultrasound and vice versa. Okay, so hindi siya nagtatali. May nakita sa physical exam, pero hindi nakita sa ultrasound. That's one example of the results, the diagnosis do not tally. Number 2, there may be different interpretation of findings on physical exam and ultrasound. different interpretations kasi very subjective ito, human beings lang ito. Okay? So, ang interpretation ng isang doktor ay ganon, another doctor iba naman, pero kahit na the same patient, iba yung interpretation. Ganon din sa ultrasound, given the same ultrasound results, dalawang doktor ang nagbabasa, you can expect different interpretations. They will not always be the same. Okay? Number three, there may be different interpretation of the characteristics of the finding on physical examination and ultrasound. Sinabi ko kanina, uh, after the first step, pag may nakitang abnormality, either sa breast exam, breast physical exam, or ultrasound, ika-characterize ng doktor kung ano yung nakita nila in terms of size, in terms of yung border, edge, whether ill-defined or well-defined, then in terms of hardness or ano, yung matitigas o hindi, fixed, ano, iba-iba pa rin ang interpretation depende sa doktor ng even for the same clinical physicians, pwede mag-iba. What more for the clinical, yung mga interpretation ng ultrasonographer and the clinician, nag-iiba pa rin. And of course, the last one is that there may be different conclusions. No? Conclusions means pwedeng BI-RADS 1, 2, 3 sa ultrasound, and then dito sa physical examinations, sabihin ng doktor, ay, benign siya, hindi siya cancer. Okay, the other way around. Okay. So take note that breast physical examination and ultrasound diagnosis are always subjective. Taong gumagawa, human being, okay? So it's operator dependent. No? Kung sinong gumagawa, doon tayo magre-rely, hindi natin alam kung ano magiging findings niya. Okay? So there may be different terminologies used. That's another factor that will contribute to this the findings that the ultrasound and physical exam diagnosis do not always tally. Kasi iba-iba yung terminology na ginagamit ng mga doktor din. No? Either the clinician doctor or the ultrasound doctors. And lastly, there may be different concept or perception on findings on the examination findings. Yung iba, ay hindi siya bukol, pero yung concept ng iba, bukol siya. Hindi naman talagang bukol. Gano'n. As we shall see later on, sa ultrasound, binabasa nilang mass, akala nila, ang interpretation nila talagang bukol. Pero for a clinician, pag nakita nila, iba yung sinasabi nila. Hindi talagang bukol yan. No? Ano lang yon, mga shot, mga echoes lang yon. No? Gano'n. So what are examples of differences of breast physical exam and ultrasound diagnosis? The sizes of the masses in physical examination and ultrasound are usually not the same. Understandable and acceptable if the discrepancies is small, say not more than 2 cm difference. Pagka konti lang difference, pwedeng tanggapin, no? So, hindi siya masyadong issue, but usually they are not the same. No? And then what are read in the ultrasound as masses or nodules may not be really masses, but just fibrous tissues. Yung nababasa sa ultrasound, sabihin nila, bukol, okay, lahat ko may nakitang may mga special echo doon, sabihin nila, bukol, pero for the clinicians, it's not really bukol, no? It's a fibrous tissue. Yeah. If the masses seen on ultrasound are palpable on physical examination, then the masses really exist. So that's the guideline that I usually use. Kung may nakita sa ultrasound at nakakapako, sabihin ko, talagang may bukol. If not, the clinician has to decide what to do. Bukol ba talaga ito yung sinasabi ng ultrasonographer o hindi? Na? Breast clinicians, physicians, by the way, when I say breast clinician physicians, these are those who manage the patient, no? on a active basis. No? Unlike yung ultrasonographer, these are also doctors, but they are more of diagnosticians. No? Okay. So breast clinician physicians usually are more specific in their physical examination diagnosis. They usually give the names of the disease is found, both benign conditions and the disease and cancers. Okay. In contrast, most sonographers just give the BI-RADS categories, focusing on benign and cancer diagnosis. Okay. So itong kaibahan ng dalawa. Na? So ito yung actual example. No? So on this side, left-hand side of the slide, ito yung aking, ako ang gumawa nito. So I was the one doing the physical examination on an actual patient. No? So 48-year-old female, okay, who consulted for a breast check. Okay, no symptoms on the breast. So ang examination ko, walang bukol. So no dominant mass, wala. Okay. So may ultrasound siya, nilagay siya ng BI-RADS 2. BI-RADS 2 mean benign, okay, or cyst. Okay. So ganon, may nakitang bukol sa ultrasound. Ang reading naman is BI-RADS 2. Okay? Yung sa akin naman, as the clinicians, no, ang findings ko, humpy breast or lumpy breast due to hormonal changes, and my diagnosis is fibrocystic changes. Kaya ang conclusion ko, sasabihin ko sa pasyente, normal ho yan. No? Normal yung findings ko, fibrocystic changes lang. No? Pero if you look at the ultrasound, iba ang sasabihin sa ultrasound. No? Sasabihin nila, nodules with benign features, both breasts. Iba, no? So, sasabihin nila, BI-RADS 2, probably benign. Okay? So, magkaiba, these are illustrations of magkaiba yung interpretation ng breast clinician, okay, and the ultrasonographer. So on this side, this is a summary. No? So in the clinician physician, physical examination findings, walang dominant mass, humpy breast tissues. Ang diagnosis niya or ako is normal fibrocystic changes. Pero yung diagnostician, physician, in the person of the ultrasonographer doctor, ang findings niya, there's a left breast cyst, and then in the right breast, there's a complicated cyst. Okay, and there are cyst ultrasound and solid nodules. Okay, and then the diagnosis ng ultrasonographer is that there are nodules, bukol, with benign features. That's why they put it BI-RADS 2. Okay, so you can see the difference. Although in the end it might be the same, no? But pag may narinig isang pasyente na may nakita, ma-anxious na siya. Pero pag sinabi ko, yung isang clinician, ay walang nakita, mas kampante siya. Di ba? Okay. So that's one of the side effects of the differences in the interpretation and in the reading. Another example here, no? So meron siyang breast mammography and ultrasound. No? So the clinician physician, okay, let's say ako, ang examination ko, physical exam, no dominant mass, humpy breast. So sasabihin ko sa pasyente, normal fibrocystic changes lang. So don't worry. Okay? Now, pero nagpa-ultrasound siya, nagpamamo siya, ang lumabas, hypoechoic masses with benign sonographic features, probably benign. No? May probably benign. So mas anxious ito kasi may probably. May pwedeng cancer din, di ba? In contrast to ang sabi ng breast clinician ay normal, mas kampante yung pasyente, di ba? Ito, pag may sinabing probably, may possibility baka cancer din. So, mas nakakatakot. No? Ito yung this is continuation of the first one, no? BI-RADS 3, pero yung clinician sasabihin niya normal, no? So another example, yung clinician say there's a nipple lesions, diagnosis cancer in the nipple. Okay? Kasi kitang-kita yung ano diyan, may mga bukol-bukol dun sa nipple, no? So the clinician, a breast specialist will say, ay, baka cancer yan, no? Cancer of the nipple, no? And then, pina-ultrasound niya, no? So, ang sinabi ng ultrasound, normal breast ultrasound findings. So, ang nilalagay ng ultrasonographer is negative findings, no? So, ito may discrepancy nito, no? So, pag kinakapa itong maliit na bukol sa utong, sa nipple, merong nakakapa yung breast clinician. Medyo matigas, may mga maliit lang naman, no? Mga less than 1 centimeter, no? Dito. So meron nakita yung breast clinician, sinasabi niyan cancer in the nipple, no? Pero pag sa ultrasound naman, sinabi ng negative. Okay? So sinong susundin, no? So ibig sabihin dito sa ultrasound, hindi nakita ng ultrasound yung bukol, no? Kahit na mababaw na, kitang-kita 'yon, di ba? Okay. So that's another example of discrepancy in the diagnosis of the breast clinician and diagnosis of the ultrasonographer. Okay. So the next question to ask, what to do if the breast physical exam and ultrasound diagnosis do not tally or have differences or discrepancy? So breast clinicians, physicians should go back to their physical examination findings and recheck their findings. No? Mabalikan nila yon. No? They should correlate the physical examination findings with the ultrasound findings and other data to make a decision on the diagnosis. Okay. So ang gagawin ng breast clinician like me, babalikan ko yung aking physical examination, i-recheck ko lang kung tama or is there something that I can improve on. Then, after that, titingnan ko yung findings ko, ibabangga ko dun sa ultrasound findings. Then I come out with a decision kung sinong susunod, susundin, kung ano yung talaga ang diagnosis. No? Okay. A statement here, the caveat is that not because the ultrasound is a machine technology, okay, does it mean it is more accurate than the senses of the physician in doing inspection and palpation. So this is the common perception of a lot of people kasi machine yon, sabihin na more accurate yon, no? Okay, hindi, no? So not all the time, no? Kami sa may mga doctor, may super human touch siya, alam niya kung at kapa lang, alam na niya kung ano, no? A lot of times, kasi mic test. Hello? Nawala, no?
Okay na po ngayon, Doc.
Yes, Doc.
Okay na, Doc. Na-resume ka na ulit.
Okay.
You're back.
Ngayon lang nawala, no? Hindi naman.
Yes.
Ngayon lang, okay. Nakabalik na ako, no? Okay, let's continue. I want to point out that yung mga reports ng mga radiologists by ultrasonographers, there's always a caveat statement dun sa baba ng report. Kasi nila, correlate clinically. If you try to recall yung mga nakikita niyo mga reports, no, if you have done ultrasound, no, or mammo, sabihin doon sa baba ng radiologist, please correlate clinically. Anong ibig sabihin ng correlate clinically? Clinical correlation means gathering of all available data, medical data information, such as age, sex, symptoms, signs, and other lab tests to a particular test to determine their mutual and reciprocal relations and to establish an orderly connection. Titingnan kung ano yung tama, ano ba yung mali. No? Basta isasama-sama lahat ng mga data. Okay? So the goal is to come out with a clinical diagnosis that is as accurate as possible. Okay? So ibig sabihin, yung report ng radiologist, report ng examination, physical exams might not stand alone. So pagsasama-sama lahat, and then i-analyze ulit. No? Okay. Ito yung kadalasan nakikita ninyo. No? Ito. this radiologic interpretation is only a part of the overall assessment of a patient's condition. Sabi nila, ito lang, isang parte lang ito. It must be correlated with the clinical means physical exams, symptoms, age, no? And then laboratory and other ancillary parameters for a comprehensive analysis. Therefore, sabi nila, radiology reports are best explained by the attending physician to the patient. So kadalasan, hindi in-explain ng ultrasonographer to the patient themselves. Now, when they examine the patient, they would rather the attending physicians or the clinicians be the one to explain. Now, the breast clinician, physicians, and radiologists, sonographers should confer with each other, particularly clinicians approaching the ultrasonographers. Okay? So, kasi ang final decision will be the clinicians. So, dapat, no, yung clinician should approach the ultrasonographer and ask, ano ba talaga ang reading nyo? Baka pwede bang ganon, ganon, no? Okay. So, this is how the discrepancies between the ultrasound diagnosis and diagnosis of the physical exam should be dealt with. The breast clinician, physician, may decide to repeat the ultrasound in another institution by another sonographer. Ito yung pwedeng gawin ng breast clinicians kung merong discrepancy. So, kasi very subjective, may konting subjectivity, may subjectivity yung ultrasound. So, papagawa niya sa ibang ultrasonographer sa ibang institution. So, this is the same as getting a second opinion. No? So, in the end, it will be the breast clinician physicians who will explain the ultrasound reports to the patients and the differences and discrepancies if present. And in the end, it will be the breast clinician physicians who will decide what to do next. So if both are not certain of the diagnosis, then another test such as biopsy may be done. So that's another option that can be adapted. No? Okay. So I think that's the last slide for this for this lecture. So I have discussed all of this. What is a diagnosis, medical diagnosis, breast physical exam diagnosis, breast ultrasound diagnosis? Do they always tally the breast physical exam and ultrasound diagnosis? And what are examples of differences? And what to do kung merong discrepancies between the physical exam and ultrasound diagnosis? So takeaway in relation to the patient empowerment, be always in touch with the reliable information on breast physical exam and ultrasound diagnosis, reconciling the differences. Knowledge is power. It gives power used for 4 Ks of patient empowerment, kaalaman, kakayanan, karapatan, kapangyarihan to gain greater control over decisions and make better decisions on breast physical exam and ultrasound diagnosis, reconciling the differences as part of your health management. So this ends my pep talk today. I hope I have empowered you to have an essential understanding on how to deal with the discrepancies or differences between ultrasound diagnosis and breast physical exam diagnosis, which actually happen a lot of times, okay, as part of your health management. So before we go to the question and answer portion or open forum, reminder, please take the online learning kung evaluation test exercise for mastery of learning and have a perfect score to get a certificate like this. I placed the link in the chat box. Obtaining 25 OLETE certificates will entitle one mentee to a free voucher for a ROOSON telemedical consultation or face-to-face medical consultation. And then a request is type in your feedback in the chat box during the open forum and before we adjourn. Thank you. Let's now have a group picture taking before we start the QA and interactions. Please turn on your video now. One. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay. Okay, the floor is now open for questions, comments, suggestions, recommendations, sharing of experiences, and consultations. Pwede, no? So, anybody who wants to take a crack? The first questions. Oh, Susan? Yeah, Susan. Susan.
Yeah, present. Doc,
Um,
it's ideal that the clinician gets in touch or confers with the what they call them, the person who did the ultrasound. If there is really question on what was written in the ultrasound report, but that's the ideal.
yeah.
But do they really have that time, knowing that the clinician or the doctor may have a lot of patients?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And if there are times when the ultrasound report, and here I try to read, I have been reading ultrasound reports, no? Of course, as a layman, I really can't understand the terminologies, no?
Mhm.
But does it also happen that even the clinic doctor has some questions on the terminologies of the ultrasound report?
Yeah. Okay. So it's ideal, tama yung sinabi mo, no, mag-uusap yung clinician and also the ultrasonographer. But in reality, a lot of times they don't, no? But there are some, no? Okay. So um one factor will be yung mga schedule ng mga doktor, di ba? Iba-iba, no? So the other one is that baka hindi mo makita yung doktor, iba tumatak kasi walang permanent na usually walang doctor nag-stay in one area, or let's say one clinician and one ultrasonographer staying in one hospital. So minsan they have different hospitals, hindi mo malaman kung saan na sila, na ganon, no? So so ang gagawin na lang probably best effort ko minsan, yung clinician will just be the one to make a evaluation and make a judgment kung anong gagawin, no? Okay. And then he or she will be the one to explain it to the patient, no? Okay. So you just have to rely on the breast clinician nowadays, at least nowadays, ha? Kasi sa ngayon, mahirap nga i-get the ultrasonographer and also the breast clinician together and then agree on ano ba yung ibig sabihin yung ganito, ganun ibig sabihin ganito, na dapat natin sabihin sa mga pasyente, ganon, no? Okay. During our time, during mga 30 years ago, no, there was an attempt by my mentor, no, to get all these specialists together and then talk about it, no? Para to reconcile the differences. Para for the sake of the patient, no? Para hindi nagugulo ang mga pasyente, no? Pero hindi siya na-sustain, no? Okay. Hindi siya na-sustain. Kaya ngayon, ang ginagawa ng medyo magulo, but in the end, it will be the breast clinician who will make the decision, no? Okay. Kasi in the end naman, even the radiologist will tell you, talk to your clinicians, to your specialists, and then she will be the one to make the decision. Explain as well to make the decisions. No? Okay. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
So, do you have any suggestions? Paano?
Actually, I don't have, no. But again, after hearing your session, and considering that nowadays doctors are, let's say the good doctors and they have lots of patients who go to them, and I was thinking, the clinician, the doctor, and the radiologist don't really have that time to confer. they might do that for extremely yung cases na talagang
Kailangan.
yeah. Oo.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So, would you like to say something, Ray Benjamin? Ganda yung anong issue na pinasok ni Susan.
Yeah, parang that's why now parang naging uso yung mga multidisciplinary na approach um na discussions lalo na sa mga cancer. Nag-uusap yung mga surgeon, med-onco, rad-onco and the radiologist kung ano yung best treatment for the patients.
Okay. So that's
Pero yun nga talaga, yun yung ideal. Pero yung implementation yung medyo hurdle pa sa ngayon, I think, for everyone.
yeah, that's one possible solution, no? Pero sana even mas maganda may one step before that, no? Kasi when you come out with a multidisciplinary conference, no, matrabaho rin yan. You have to gather the people together, no? And then a lot of times, di rin sila magkasundo, di ba? Okay. So the best still to come out yung society, probably the Society of the Ultrasonography Radiologists, Society of the Breast, mga specialists will come together and make a parang workshop, talk about it, talk about the problem, then come out with the possible solutions, no? Okay. So that should be the ideal, the first step. And then after that, kung di magawa, and then at least the breast clinician, you have to look for a breast clinician who will be conscientious, no, in investigating and trying to reconcile the differences. No? Okay. And then who is open also to talk to the radiologist or the ultrasonographer. That's the second step. The third step is multidisciplinary approach already. No? Okay. Okay, Susan?
Yes, Doc. Thank you.
Any more questions? Sinong may experience having mga discrepancies? I suppose lahat meron. Anybody? Wala? By-Rads. Napapansin ninyo maraming iba-ibang terminology? Yes or no?
Yes.
Opo.
Kaiba, no?
How come it's like that, Doc? Di ba medyo ano yun? It will add to the confusion.
Yeah, no?
If there are different terminologies, might it not add to the confusion? Hindi naman.
It will nga. Kaya dapat, sabi ko nga, dapat yung societies, no? Yung mga tao should come together and make a stand, no, to improve everything, no, that will not cause confusion, no. Okay. Best effort lang. I don't honestly. I'm also pessimistic about it kasi even all over the world, WHO, no, World Health Organizations, they have some terminologies which are not really being followed by other specialists, no? Ganon, by the pathologists, by iba-iba, no? Okay. So in the end, as I said, in the end, it might boil down to the clinicians making a decision for you, no? Okay. Okay. Any other comments? Rochelle, anything?
Wala naman po, Doc. Although I agree po dun sa yung confusion on the results ng ultrasound versus the when you see a doctor. Kasi just like in my case po, Doc, yung ultrasound result ko po, I just forgot po yung number ng BI-RADS eh. Pero ang nakalagay po dun sa akin is probably benign. So when I went to see you po, ganun pa rin naman yung finding sa akin, yung fibrocystic. So, minsan po talaga nakaka-create ng confusion plus anxiety. Yun pong result po ng ng ultrasound. Kasi magwo-worry ka po eh. Totoo po yun na nagwo-worry ka kasi ang results is probably benign. So, there is a probability na hindi siya benign. Yung ganun po.
Tama yun. Tama sinasabi ko, di ba? Pag sinabi, probably
Opo.
benign versus sinabi niyang benign, mas maganda yung benign, di ba?
Yes po. Kaya minsan Dok, yung pag ikaw po yung pasyente, parang nagdududa ka dun sa reliability ng result nung ultrasound.
Oo.
Better na lang talaga to see a doctor para po mas ma-interpret. Plus, ma-physical exam ka talaga thoroughly.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. So, any more? We still have 3 minutes to go. Mayan, meron ka bang experience with Singapore?
Doc, ano naman siya? Okay naman siya, Doc. Synchronize naman siya lahat.
Maswerte ka. Hindi lahat. May mga ganun. Usually, hindi nagja-jive yung mga ano eh. No?
Opo.
Okay. Ano pang mga usapan? Okay. So, one of my advice is that if you don't need the lab exams now, okay, wag na yung paggawa kasi kadalasan maraming readings na alarming, no? Okay, kaysa yung sinasabi na the clinicians will just tell you normal siya, normal, walang problema, no? I used to use the word normal, no, in the past, no? Pero nung dumating yung ultrasound, I cannot just use the word normal ang breast findings. No, no? Okay. Kasi maraming nakikita sa ultrasound, bukol-bukol, no? So pag sinabi kong normal sa isang pasyente na findings ko, pero kung wala akong mga backup o walang additional comments, pag nagpa-ultrasound siya, ay lumabas, mga bukol-bukol, masses lalabas, no? Okay. Sasabihin sa akin, bakit sa ultrasound may mga bukol? Sabi niyo, wala, normal, no? So how do I reconcile these things, no? Kaya after that, natuto na ako para mas madaling i-explain sa pasyente. Gumagamit na akong the word fibrocystic, na aside from just saying normal period. Normal, walang problema, normal. Sabihin ko, meron kayong fibrocystic changes, but I emphasize to them, this still normal, no? Okay, hormonal changes lang yon, no? So pag dumating yung ultrasound, pag may pinagawa silang ultrasound, pag sinabing masses doon at hindi ko man nakakapa, sabihin ko, yun ang fibro, no? Fibrocystic kasi combination of cystic and fibrous tissues, di ba? Okay. So pag sa ultrasound may sinabing cyst, merong solid, yung solid mass, sasabihin nila probably benign, no? Pero sa akin, it's the fibro part of the fibrocystic. Sasabihin ko sa kanila, normal talaga yan, no? Okay. So nowadays I used the word, I added the phrase fibrocystic changes when I talk to patients. No? Normal siya, at most likely you have fibrocystic changes. No? Okay. And what I want to emphasize to you, yung fibrocystic changes are hormonal changes and they are normal. No? Okay. So pag may dumating na ultrasound na pinagawa sila, no, madadalian ako mag-explain sa kanila, no? Lalo na kung yung ultrasound may combination ng sabihin, may cystic, may solid mass, no? Sabihin ko, yung solid mass hindi naman talagang bukol yon. It's just the fibrous part, no? Okay, fibrous findings, no? Okay. Okay. Any more?
Doc, may tanong lang po ako. Kalimutan ko magtanong.
Sure.
Dok, kasi sa ano po, sa SG po, yung sa Raffles Hospital nga po, SOP po sa kanila na apart from ultrasound, breast ultrasound, may mammography talaga. Eh, during that time, ayoko magpa-mastectomy po kasi syempre, ingat ako rin po yung ano ko. Pero sabi po nila, SOP nga daw po yun. Sabi nga ng doktor ko, kung ayaw mo magpatanggal niyan, lumipat ka ng St. Elizabeth, which is hindi na ako nagdalawang isip. Nagpatanggal na rin ako. Talaga bang, Dok, na ano? Sabi kasi niya, hindi daw lahat nakikita sa ultrasound. Yung iba naman, hindi daw lahat nakita sa mamo, kaya kailangan pareho daw meron.
Tama yung observation mo, no? Magulo ang
Pa?
tama yung observation mo, tama yung connect. Nangyayari din sa Pilipinas yon, no? So,
Oh,
a lot of times, I would order ultrasound lang. Ayaw gawin ng isang company, isang clinic, yun yung kumisan yung hospital, pero bihira yung hospital nagdi-deny, no? Pero yung may mga clinic na yung gumagawa ng ultrasound at mammo, gano'n, sasabihin nila, we have to do both, no? Hindi pwedeng,
opo.
no? Gano'n, no? So palaging merong merong I have encountered a lot of centers na who would require kahit na in order ko lang ultrasound, no? Sasabihin nila, ay kailangan may mammo, no? Okay. So bakit sa akin ang pasyente, bakit pinapamamo pa ako? Sabi ko pumunta ka na lang sa ibang centers, no? Sabi ko, hindi ko kailangan yung mammo, kailangan ko lang yung ultrasound, no? Okay. So now I will make another pep talk on that, no? Probably before the end of the year, no? Ang aking stand, sabi ko, kasi pag nagpamamo ka, ang history kasi niyan, yung screening procedures, mamo lang. Tama? Mamo.
Opo.
Screening, no? Pero nowadays, they add another ultrasound, no? Okay. So, and then, pag nagpa-mamo ka, ang mga BI-RADS reading nila, palaging zero. Di ba? Most of the time, lalagay nila zero because they want additional ultrasound. Di ba? Okay. Before they can commit, no? Sa akin, okay, sa akin, personally speaking, no, I don't agree with that. Ang sa akin, basta kung mamo siya, they should be able to see, I mean, kung anong findings sila, sabihin na lang nila, may evidence ba ng cancer o wala, no? Okay, wag na nilang invoke yung that they have to do the ultrasound bago mag-commit, di ba? So sa akin, ang stand ko is that they can commit already kasi kadalasan binabasahan naman nila na no evidence of clusters of microcalcification that is suggestive of malignancy. Diba? Ganon. Tapos sa baba, lalagay nila BI-RADS stroke. No? No? Medyo contradicting. Diba? Okay. So,
Opo.
magsasuggest sila ng ultrasound. No? So, kaya sabi ko sa inyo na I don't really fully agree with that stand, no? Okay, on the basis of pwede namang magbasa based on the mammo lang or ultrasound lang, or the other reason is bakit yung screening program ng sa buong mundo, yung mga bansa na may screening mammography, even sa Europe, di ba? Sabi nila, screening mammography should be done. Yun lang, hindi man sinasabi na dapat may combination of mammo and ultrasound. Di ba?
Okay.
Okay. So for that,
Pero
sige.
pero kung tatanungin ko kayo, Docs, ano yung po mas masasuggest nyo na better? Kasi parang ako, di ba sa former company ko, free ako for the annual PE di ba? So they do it yung si mammo and si ultrasound. So pwede ba akong mag-opt na ultrasound na lang or mammo lang, ganon? Or ano ba yung dapat nang i-opt ko na best, mammo or ultrasound?
Okay, let's put it this way kasi depende where you coming from. Kung
Opo.
lying kasi may company ka who will require you to do certain tests and then meron kang benefit, no, na
Mhm.
ultrasound, may mammo, no? That's
Mhm.
one story, no? The other story,
Ah,
wala kang benefit, di ba?
mhm. Opo.
At naniniwala ka sa mga advice na hindi kailangan ito, you do it
Okay.
judiciously, basta
Mhm.
basta magpapagawa, no? Okay?
Opo.
You can say baka isa lang, dito, ano.
Okay.
So, sa akin, ang pinaka-importante kasi kakapain ng sarili mo, no? Then
Apo.
kung may bukol, then if part of your screening will be to do yung mga laboratory diagnostic tests like ultrasound, mammography. Then how do you decide on that, no? Yung sa iyo, it all depends. Okay, if you want to catch yung mindset mo, if you want to catch the recurrence early, no,
Mhm.
magpamamo ka, di ba? Okay, kasi yung breast cancer can be caught earlier. The earliest would be using the mammography, di ba?
Okay.
Pero maraming false positive din yon, no? Basta
Apo.
you have to accept that risk, no? Kumis kadalasan pag nagmamamo ka, ay baka meron, no? Yung pala wala, no? So matatakot ka na, di ba?
Apo.
So yun, no? So it all depends, no?
Okay. Sige, Doc. Pagka ano,
Ano ba yung sa'yo?
in-due them.
Nagpapamamo
Kasi
ka?
mammo and ultrasound kasi ang ginagawa nila eh. Parang ano yun eh, parang SOP din na pagka ito
Hindi,
yung age mo,
hindi
you
pwede.
will undergo doon. Oo.
Hindi.
Oo, libre naman. Eh kaya lang kasi parang ano ba yung mas maganda sa kanila? Para isa na lang. Di ba? Wag na akong, kasi parang si mamo, masakit pa eh. Si mammogram. Diba? Eh baka hindi ko alam kung alin ang mas maganda, kung si mammogram o si ultrasound.
Yeah. So, yeah, may pros and cons. Then, in the
Mm,
will be, actually, ikaw ang magde-decide, no? Then, of course,
mm,
doctor, specialist like me, will also advise you, no?
okay.
So,
Okay.
advice ng doctor usually based on the mindset also of the doctors, di ba? Kung ano yung
Apo.
niwala nila. May mga
Mhm.
doctors na maximalist, may doctors na minimalist.
Minimalist ako.
Okay. But in the end, it will be you who will make the decision, no?
Apo.
Okay, Susan?
So, ako hindi na lang, Doc, di ba? Ikaw na. Physical exam na lang.
Hindi ko pinagawa. Basta minimum is breast self-exam, no?
Apo. Apo.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Doc.
Welcome. Okay.
Doc, another question po.
Sige.
Bakit, Doc, bali sa SG rin sa Raffles Hospital? Kasi nung ginawan po ako nung first time bago yung operation, siguro nakatatlong plates po ako bago nila na perfect yung mamo. Pero yung after nung operation, anim yata ako, 5, kaya nasimigaw na ako talaga sa sakit. Sakit-sakit ng mamo.
Okay.
Oo.
Ba dapat po alam na po
Wow.
kagad nila yung size nun?
Ano ka, Susan?
Opo nga, masakit talaga si mamo.
Masakit talaga. Kahit na sinabi mong digital, masakit pa rin. No?
Yun nga po eh.
Okay. Kasi dapat, that's why 3 beses pinagawa kasi hindi maganda yung result. Hindi naipit na gusto.
Yun nga po eh. Diyos ko, ang sakit-sakit. Tsaka Dok, hindi ko maalala kung anong country po na merong butas yung ano,
Ano?
yung pinakamamo nila, hindi na yung iniipit. Nakalimutan ko anong country yun sa Poland yata, yung ko yata na experience yung ganun.
Hindi,
Parang yung Dok, yung butas po yung dalawang kama, yun yung pinakamamo nila, hindi na yung iniipit. Parang Poland ko yata na experience yung sa African, kung maalala po. But hindi kaya magkakaroon po dito nun? Para hindi masakit?
Hindi ko alam. Tanong ko natin kay Dr. Ray Benjamin Hoson. Meron na ba before?
Yung ganun niya, well, hindi ko pa nakita yung mamo dito. Pero yung yun yata yung parang yung ginagamit nila sa biopsy. Kasi pag biopsy na mammogram guided, parang pinapahiga sa kama na
Okay.
nakadapa,
Oh, yung
iniipit,
nakapasok
tapos
hindi.
doon
Hindi doon.
binabiopsy. So,
Yun nga eh. Hindi
baka
masakit.
meron din, pero hindi yung ano, yung
Hindi ko
routine na mammogram.
Hmm.
Tapos i-add ko lang doon sa ano, yung pinamammogram, kasi pag yung sa mastectomy, usually kasi pag parang hindi tatanggalin yung buong breast, kailangan nila ng mammogram kasi baka may ibang ano focus ng ano, baka ibang part ng breast na affected. Kaya kailangan nila mammogram para makita kung kaya nila tanggalin yung isang part lang ng breast. Kasi kung may nakita sa ibang part ng breast sa mammogram, hindi nila magagawa yung ano yung hindi mastectomy, yung excision, yung wide excision lang. Parang protocol po kasi nila yun.
Ah.
Tapos, yung nakikita kasi sa mammogram, yung tinatawag natin kasi na ano, calcifications. Parang calcium deposits siya na pwedeng ano, benign naman. Pero may type ng calcifications na kasi na pwedeng parang beginning cancer eh. Kaya kung may ganun, mas maganda na tanggalin na lang yung buong breast kasi sa ibang part meron ganun. Tapos tatanggalin mo lang yung part na ano, isang part na iwan mo po yun. Mas delikado po kasi. Yun lang. Para lang malinaw ba't pinapamammogram yung ano, at ano, ayaw nila mag ano, yung hindi mastectomy kung walang mammogram.
Hmm. Thank you po, Doc.
Malinaw ba? Or may questions pa po ba?
Okay. Mian, Susan?
Opo, Dr. Ray.
Yung calcification kasi hindi nakikita sa ultrasound. Yung ultrasound nakita yung mga bukol talaga. Pero yung mga calcification, yung calcium deposits na pwedeng hindi naman cancer or pwedeng benign or cancerous, sa mammogram lang kasi nakikita eh. Siya yung parang
Ay,
pinaka-early, siya yung pinaka-earliest stages kasi na nakikita. Kaya siguro yun din yung recommend for screening.
yun siguro po
Tapos
hindi
per
na
uh, tapos
ni
per
ano.
country parang iba-iba eh. Parang
Oo nga eh.
recommended every year. Dito parang every year 40 to 50, tapos once nag-reach ka ng 50, every 2 years na yung ano nila, screening na mammogram. So iba-iba yung ano, timing din ng screening nila.
Mm.
Okay. Mian,
Okay. Opo, Doc. Thank you po, Doc.
welcome.
Okay po.
Okay. Meron pang mga tanong, sharing of experiences. Okay. Takeaway here is that palaging may discrepancy, not na palagi, pero most of the time may discrepancy because number one, terminology pa lang magkaiba na, no? Okay. And then iba-iba yung mga doctor na gumagawa, nag-interpret. So may mga discrepancies, no? Okay. So at the moment, it will be your breast specialist who will make the decision, no, kung anong gagawin if there are discrepancies, no? Okay. Okay, so if there are no more questions, we'll call it a day. We'll see each other next week again. No? Okay. Ang topic next week will be oncologies. What is an oncologist? No? Okay. Okay. We'll talk about oncologies. Okay. Wala nang tanong. We'll call it a day. We'll see each other next
Thank you.
week. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Doc.
Thank you, Doc.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
po,
you.
Doc.
Thank you, Doc.
Thank you.
Thank you, Doc.
See
Have
you
a great
again
day.
next week.
Bye-bye.
Thank you po.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Dr. Ray.
Bye-bye.
Hindi ko na